Welcome to Alpha Wolf Capital. I'm Tim, and I want to personally thank you for stopping by. This channel is designed to help small companies, both public and private, gain exposure with potential consumers, investors, even partners. Take, for example, today's guest, Rob Ellin with LiveOne. LiveOne is an award-winning creator-first music, entertainment, and technology platform focused on delivering premium experiences and content worldwide through memberships and live and virtual events. Listen, watch, attend, engage, and transact. They give fans, brands, and bands the best seat in the house. Now, they work in 5 verticals: music subscriptions, podcasts, live stream and pay-per-view, merchandise, and music publishing. I can tell you firsthand, here's why I love LVO. Number 1, Rob Ellin is a warrior. Number 2, the music makes the world go round. Number 3, they put the creator first, and I've been there. It's like a family. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. Hey everybody, Tim from Alpha Wolf Capital coming at you with a impromptu interview with Rob Ellin, who's walking through the city of New York right now.
Yeah, we're jumping in a tough market. You know, beggars can't be choosy. We got to work hard. So, yeah, I got to do interviews on a Friday afternoon with one of my favorite people.
Yeah. So listen, I got a groundswell of people that are like, what the hell is going on with LVO? And look, I guess it's because I know you so well, and I've been through so many of these scenarios with you that this isn't one that I actually have been worried about. All right. I know Rob Ellin. I know that he is a warrior, and we've been in these trenches, I don't know how many times before, right?
A lot, a lot. You know, the good news, every time you and I do an interview, the stock doubles. It's kind of crazy. But listen, you know, we're public venture capital, and we're in a really tricky market, right? There's the haves and have-nots. And everyone talks about, the top 7 in the S&P, but it's really every index, right? And no one realizes that the Russell index has collapsed, right? The Russell's up and it's up 20%. But to get onto the Russell, which we just got back onto the Russell 2000, and you got to be careful what you wish for. When you got back on, last year was 156 million, right? The Russell's up 20%. Yet this year, the lowest to get on is 131. It's kind of crazy, right? You would think it'd be 190 million, but it's actually hugely less than last year because these algorithms are crushing these little stocks. But you know what? Those shorts always pay us. Tim, you and I have been there a lot of times, and they're going to pay us again. We just got to be patient. We got to fight through, and we got to battle through.
So
That
I don't
doesn't
know
mean
what I'm wearing
that
today,
doesn't.
Rob, but I actually just went and changed my shirt when we decided to do this. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it's a money shirt. I've never worn this shirt actually.
Well,
But
you should start wearing the Live One gear because it's kind of crazy. I was just walking through the street, and literally, maybe all my shareholders are handing them out, and you got the homeless wearing my hats now. And then literally, this guy comes running up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're Live One," and I go, "Maybe they're starting to see that beachfront property show up, right?" And that's when you should call this interview, which is beachfront property. You know, we gave up some revenues on this Tesla deal in return for beachfront property. Every single Tesla car, right? Our logo is now in.
yes,
Seriously,
let me tell you why
this
I think this is an overreaction. I understand that you're not going to get the guaranteed dollars directly from Tesla, but that you have not really had the opportunity to build your brand, right? I mean, now you've got the opportunity to do some exciting stuff, potentially running specials and promotions and building the Live One brand, right?
so let's take a deep breath for 5 seconds,
Yeah.
right? And think about this. Sirius Radio and XM Radio went head to head for 25 years, paying to get into cars to get that beachfront property, right? Now today, forget that I have a 12-year history. Forget that 283,000 people use our service today. Apologize. Let this ambulance go by for 1 second. Give 1 second, Tim.
Yeah.
Welcome to New York City. I'm going to put you on mute so you don't have to suffer through that. So think about Sirius Radio and XM Radio fighting for that real estate to get Ford and General Motors, right? Who's the fastest growing car company in the history of the world?
Tesla.
Right. Who's got a footprint now that we now have? Tesla sent out a message that no longer will you get this little orange button that is streaming. You have to guess what it is. And when you press on it, you'll figure out it's music. You now get a LiveOne button. So they're doing all the advertising, all the marketing for us. And they sent out a little message that went out across every car, and it goes out every month, that goes across and said, in perpetuity, that LiveOne button is going to be there. All right. Number two is, then they sent out and said, because you're a Tesla owner, you get to buy LiveOne at a discount. And for the first time ever, you get to take your music home with you. 283,000 people today. 83% of all of Tesla users use our music service, right? Okay. And they use it for an average of 20%, 20 minutes per session. Knock on wood, I hope a big percentage are going to convert. Now I have an opportunity to not only convert them, but actually upsell them and actually let them take their music and take their playlist and take those hosts and actors and take them in their car.
And it's not just
to their phone.
They got the podcast. It's not just music, right? You got podcasts. You got, I saw you also added audiobooks, which happens to be one of my favorite things. I mean, you've got an entire package to sell.
We are the 11th. I'm sorry, the 10th largest DSP in the world, in a market that is going to, these are Spotify numbers. Spotify will have 1 billion subscribers. Okay. Goldman Sachs came out by 2030. There'll be 1.7 billion paying subscribers and over 5 billion total subscribers to music around the world. That's 60 to 70% of the world. We just need 10 million of them. All right. And we're unique. We have more and more original programming. Our podcast is starting to sell to television. We sold our second podcast to television to become a series. One series could be worth $100 million, right? You know, my family's been involved in TV and films. You know, I own the rights, the production rights to the movie 300. We just need a little break here, right? So we're going to suffer some pain. We're going to give up some revenues for the short term. We're going to give up some EBITDA for the short term, right? But in the long term, now we actually have a relationship with those customers. And what is analysts get valued at per subscriber?
Yeah. What would, if you were a brand new startup and, you know, you announced that you got the dashboard of Tesla in perpetuity, what would that be worth?
So let's just give that part of it. If you were a startup company, XM Radio trades at, I don't know, it sold for $8 billion, right? $8 or $9 billion. They were losing $600 million a year at the time because they were buying real estate, right? Okay, we own our real estate now. For the first time, we actually own the real estate as opposed to being a renter of the real estate, right? We don't have a tenant paying us yet, right? Now we got to get those tenants to pay us. How much is that beachfront property worth? And then how much is it worth to have a $200 million NOL and to have partnerships with every record label, publisher, and so on? We got work to do. We got to fight through. But if we're right, $100 sub, $300 sub, $1,000 sub.
So I'm gonna hit you with something because this has been, you know, one of the to some people it feels like maybe there's a change in strategy, because one of the things that you were talking about pretty heavily was the ability for brands to brand their own listening radio, you know, their own deal, right?
Hasn't changed one bit. You know, in life, you got to be careful. What's up, man? How you doing? You got to be careful what you wish for in life, right? Right? So when you're careful what you wish for in life is, we've been asking for this for 7 years. Am I happy they forced us into this in 2 months? No, we got to move quick, right? I would have liked an extended period of time to do that, right? Of what our contract was, right? But, careful what you wish for. We've been asking for this forever. Now we got it. Now we got to step on the gas. We got to market. We got to promote, right? I'll give away $1 million, right? If we sign 1 million subscribers, you get 1 million subscribers. That's $400 million of value, right? Okay. You watch what we're going to do, right? As you know, I put the first money into Taiwan.com. I gave away $1 million to get subscribers that paid no money. It was advertising driven. Now I'll give them away for someone who signs up for $9.99 a month. And in 2 seconds, because I go from $3 to $10.
Right.
This is everything we asked for, right? Everything across the board I've been asking for since the day I bought the company. We were doing a little tiny piece of revenues with Tesla. We've asked for the same thing. Now we got it. Now we got to step on the gas and we got to prove we're good.
Right. And I look, man, like I said, I've been in the trenches. The reason I put this shirt on is every time I've done something with you, it's always equated to money. That's it. I mean, you're money. You're a fighter. I mean,
Thank you.
And I know, look, I know how hard you work. I know what time. I'll get text from you at 4 a.m. I'll get text from you at 7 a.m. I know you're in New York. You're in, LD Micro and you're all over the place, man. You're driven. I don't think you're ready to lay down yet.
No, I'm not even close. I mean, I'm so excited. Listen, is it painful? I have $18 million personally. My kids, my family are all invested, right? You go through cycles, right? We've been through a few of them already in this company, right? You come out of them, you got to come stronger than ever, right? I've always told everyone, I've always won by outworking my competitors, right? I'm not going to win because I'm the smartest guy in the world. I'm not going to win because I'm the dumbest guy in the world. I'm going to win because I outwork them, right? And I learned that from my past partner, Peter Guber, right? Just won a Dodger championship, right? It's like he tells his stories all the time of his losers that became his winners. The way he ended up owning sports franchises by losing out on owning the Dodgers 30 years ago, owning the Oakland Rays 20 years ago, and owning the Lakers 10 years ago, right? And then he bought the Warriors, right? And then he bought the Dodgers, right? You go through these cycles. We're public venture capital. Not to repeat myself, but we're going to go through those cycles. We're going to lose a customer. We're going to win a customer, right? But it's so easy. One big test move, and this stock skyrockets, right? I'm angry. I'm working harder than ever, right? My kids are like, where are you? I was in Houston, Austin, and Dallas last week. The week before that, right? I was in Chicago, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? Next week, I'm going to Florida, and I go travel around the state of Florida, and I'll present at my friend Jason Lyon's conference. Somehow, every time I go to Jason's conference, the stock doubles. Right? We just got to keep getting new people and new blood in, and I got to bring some of those same old people who made a ton of money in the stock. Right? Most people never tell the truth. Right? They don't admit that they ran the stock from this price. When COVID hit, I think we hit 62
I was
cents.
I was gonna bring that up, man. If anybody questions whether or not you're gonna, I mean, look, this was a live event company when COVID hit. And if there was ever a time for the company to disappear, that was the time. And guess what? I think it ran to like $7, right? And that was
Quick.
Quick.
And it traded 35 million shares in the aftermarket that a lot of people took a lot of chips off the table, right? And I was doing 38 million, losing 15 million a year. I just publicly said I'm going to do 120 million with 10 to 15 million dollars EBITDA if Tesla completely falls apart, right? Which it won't. It's going to turn out to be a pot of gold.
I think it gives you an opportunity to market better for LiveOne.
Well, do better than that. It's not just us marketing. I don't know why people misread that they extended the contract. They shockingly extend the contract to 2026, not 2025 to 2026. It's okay. So they've said that we have the button in perpetuity and our contract extended, right, in 2026. We're not doing it alone. Part of our deal with them is they're the ones that are marketing. They're telling the consumer to come buy it at a discount. It's okay. You were getting connectivity for $9.99. The glue that made that happen was LiveOne, right? You watched them market music to get people to subscribe, right? Well, now they're just adding. Now they're selling it to you where they're together, Tesla and LiveOne are marketing, right? You can get a huge discount for $3.99 a month, or for $34.99 for the year, or for $109.99 a year, right? You can get the service at a huge discount, right? I'm signing a lot of people every day right now. I'm shocked because they still get it free for 2 months. But a lot of these people use our service for 20 minutes. Do you not think they want to take that music home with them? They've never been able to take their playlist home with them.
Right. I mean, now they can listen to it all the time. They can listen to it at the gym. They can listen to it wherever they want. Right.
Correct. Correct. So we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of muscle, a lot of anger in it, right? I got an angry team. My podcast team, the podcast is starting to market this, right? Our host and anchors are talking to those people listening every day, telling them, hey, you're about to lose your playlist that you worked on for 12 years. You won't have them anymore. Go tell someone they're about to lose their playlist and watch what happens.
Right. Right. People are overreacting. I think this is just knowing you and looking at it objectively. I know that the first thing to do, especially right now, there's just so much nervousness in the market, but that first reaction is, oh my God, the world's falling apart. This is a golden opportunity for Rob Ellin. I'm telling you right now, not just Rob Ellin and his whole team. I mean, you got a hell of a team, man. Brad, Josh. I mean, you got a
just understand, I've always told everyone, I'm up here at 4,000 feet. There are people taking missiles, right? That are taking that gunshot. They're taking it like crazy. They're fighting through. These people in the trenches, right? Figuring out how to muscle that in, how to change it, right? They've got every host, all 500 of my music channels. When you listen, all of my excess inventory, instead of selling, right, an advertisement today, or instead of trying to push subscription, so man, how are you? Here. Now what they're pushing now, subscribe to LiveOne, convert and subscribe.
Right. Right. I mean, this is gonna wind up being a good thing, and I'm looking at you had a nice day today, man. On some pretty decent volume too. And I also noticed
I got one of those great calls today. One of my biggest shareholders in Digital Turbine. He made $75 million, right? And he stopped speaking to me for 2.5 years in 2008 when the stock dropped all the way down, right? And then he tripled up finally, right? And he ended up selling his stock at like $78 or $79, right? It went to 40 cents, right? Guy, he calls me today. He goes, shit, I was about to buy 5 million shares. I was like, and what? It changed from 60 cents to 80 cents. You're going to do this again, right? Guy, he turns to me and he goes, do you know what's really interesting? He goes, I went to my Tesla car today and I started buying a ton of stock. And you know why? He goes, I actually realized your B2B deals, you actually have the greatest B2B deal now. You own the beachfront property inside of a Tesla, right? You should put the picture up when you post this. Like all of a sudden that LiveOne button is there. It used to be some squiggly little orange thing that looked like, I don't know what it looked like. It looked like an octopus, I guess. And it wasn't Slacker. It wasn't LiveOne. Now we actually have that beachfront property. Okay, I'm going to lose some revenues for a minute. I'm going to lose some EBITDA for a minute. Guess what? If I work hard and I pound the pavement and I get out there, there's a shot. If I get 25% of these people to convert, this is a lottery ticket.
right.
Right? And I mean a lottery ticket. I don't mean no one ever gave me credit for the Tesla contract anyway. They only gave me credit for the revenues and the bottom line. No one ever talked about as holy cow, they actually could get $1,000 a sub. Right? Where's Spotify trading today? $80 billion.
Right.
It's nuts. Right? They've never made money till this year, right? And you don't know if they're going to make money next year, right? We're just in the trenches. And guess what? Spotify stock is somehow up $100, yet Tesla did the same thing to them in Europe. Why? They're in the algorithmic dream, right? They're getting the algorithmic buy. We're getting the algorithmic sell.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, you also got to understand too, man, you got a lot of retail investors in the stock and they panicked. I mean, that's just the reality of it. They're panicked, right? They just don't know yet. And that's why we're having this conversation, man, because I do know you. I was in Digital Turbine, APPS. If anybody wants to look up the history on that stock, it had an amazing friggin' run. I lost you, man.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm just texting my dad. Make sure he knows I'm here.
All right.
1 second. Stay me a half a second.
What are you doing, huh?
Okay. Wait 1 second, Tim. I got
No problem.
92-year-old father who's upstairs. I just got to make sure he gets down safely.
Come here.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Okay.
So I know you.
So now let's move from Tesla because we covered it, right?
Yep.
Okay. We're in the trenches. We're going to fight. We're going to do sweepstakes. We're going to do all kinds of things that are going to shock and awe people and how we're going to get those 1.9 million people to convert. Okay. Number two is, okay, I said we have 65 B2B deals. We've announced two. The first one was 24 million. The second one was text now. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to see soon. 100
Yep.
million users, low-end mobile devices, low-end music service, low-end devices. Next, we're going to announce multiple more of these B2B deals. We said we have 65. We said we're going to announce at least two more before year end. We're a little bit behind, but it's coming. Right? And that focus and that energy just got stronger. Okay. I could tell you nobody blinked. I would have to change that number and go, went down from 65 down to 50 if people blink because of Tesla. They're actually coming on stronger. You know, that number we're going to raise dramatically. It's now grown. It's grown across 8 verticals. The energy and excitement around what we have. We're the only ones in the world that can white label for people and deliver this message for them and be able to do what we're going to do. And you're going to see those partnerships coming true.
Okay.
Yeah. So I put across, as you look at our deck, 5 verticals. Each one has $1 billion to $20 to $100 billion of upside. Every company I built across the board, whether it's THQ, Jax, Majesco, Forward Industries, right? You know, Digital Turbine, i1.com. Always companies have been involved in, always had these massive waves, right? We didn't build a wave, but jump on the wave, right? So we're on these waves. We have 5 of them right now. And they all are off the same piece of content without a lot of money going into them. In fact, very little money. We got this huge upside. We just sold our second podcast to television. Right? Many of you don't know that I own the rights to Atmosphere Films. I was the largest shareholder in it, right? And we produced a movie called 300 and Spiderway Chronicles. And so on. We did $1.5 billion in revenues, and they keep growing. The royalties keep going. Where are my royalties coming from here, right? They're going to come from audio. They're going to come from video. They can come from podcasting. Now my podcast is selling to television. I could tell you, I never believed I was going to sell 2 of them in the first year that we tried this, right? 2 TV shows. If those hit, those networks have spent $1.5 million each in them. They're going to spend tens of millions of dollars to make them work. You know, if they work, we're going to make a lot of money, right?
Yep.
Millions to tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Our celebrity brands, they're all for the same piece of content, right? That are driving those, right? We now have 2 of them. We're going to announce multiple more this year. We said we'll be at 12 within 12 months, right? So we'll have 12 potential TV shows in our slate, 12% potential celebrity brands in our slate. This is all optionality, right? And then our publishing business was up 300%. We got the #1 song right now, right? Josh, who runs music, has told you this, right? He had Justin Bieber's #1 song. He had, you know, built a huge moat, right? With Rock Nation. We now have 1,000 songs that we own a piece of. The royalties coming in. When you start getting that mailbox money, you get one #1 song that could be a skyrocket. You go from $1 million to $3 million in revenues and make a lot of money on that. You go to 10 million, you'll sell the thing for $100 million.
I mean,
You go to
look,
30 million.
I forget. There's so many things always popping from you guys. You know, the combination with Tune and the Winnie the Pooh, right? I mean, and Josh is going to wants to do. I think that's going to wind up being a huge thing, right? But Winnie the Pooh is a loved character from.
Listen to this song. Listen to this song from WizKid. Okay, 12 million streams just on Spotify in the first week. Okay, this is African music. So you remember when reggaeton exploded? It's now pop music, reggaeton, African music. African music is just exploding, literally exploding.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of exciting projects going on. I think you have things that come out of left field and surprise people pretty quickly, right?
We're energizing. And Tim, the other thing you should know is we bought back 4.4 million shares, right? We paid $1.73. Do you not think I'm going to buy back a lot more at this price? Yeah, in both PodcastOne and LiveOne. Right? We can't buy until the earnings come out next week. But if I bought, you know, 4.4 million shares at $1.73, I'm certainly going to buy a lot more than 4.4 million right down at 70 cents, 80 cents.
That is one thing you have always done, but you have always been an active buyer in the open market. I mean, you can look back and see that. Anybody can look that up. Look up the Form 4s. You'll see Rob Ellin's name a lot. He puts his money where his mouth is, right? You're not doing this just for fun, are you, Rob?
No, my wife called me an hour ago. She's like, "How you feeling?" I said, she goes, "You had a great day today. The stock's up." I go, "I didn't notice." Right until we're back in the $5 to $10 range. We did the IPO at 4. It traded from 4 to 10. It came down, then ran again. Came down, ran again. Right. Okay. Until the stock's back over 5, I have nothing but passion, energy, and a little bit of anger. Right. I take it right from Michael Jordan when he lost to Detroit twice in a row. Well, what did he do? He went in the gym, right? He got stronger. He got, fought through, and then no one could stop him. We're gonna win. I promise you.
All right. Just some from housekeeping standpoint, no need to raise capital, right?
Now I'm buying stock. I'm not gonna raise capital. And literally, I just, you'll see very shortly. We said that we signed I think it was a 20 or $25 million credit facility, right? I haven't even borrowed money. I have no debt this time. When we dropped during COVID, right? I had I had $23 million of debt. I have zero today, right? All that debt converted at $2.10. So I have
Right.
zero debt. I got plenty of cash, right? I got to fight through some battles, right? You got to fight through things. There's some fear, right, out there, but we're just going to get stronger.
Yep. There's no question in my mind about that. And
But what do you want?
I know people, wanted some answers. Hopefully I mean, look, this wasn't ideal for Rob. He's in New York, getting ready to see his dad. He's been on
Hold on. Say hello to my dad, 92 years old. The only question he ever asked me, he never asked me when the stock's up. When the stock's down every day, he calls me, "Why did the stock down?" I said, "More sellers than buyers." Right? When the stock skyrockets, never a word, not a chirp, not a peep. When the stock's down, guy's literally the first guy in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning in LA, the phone ring. Why is your stock down?
All right, Rob. Listen, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I don't want to interrupt your dinner with your dad.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Tim.
the meal.
Tim, I appreciate you. Every time we do this stock run, so you only talk to me when the stock's down. So let's get a big run. Let's get back in shape. I'm not done with acquisitions. I'm not done with any of this, right? Remember, I bought PodcastOne when the stock was $1.23, right? And we priced it effectively at $6 a share. I bought Cast Media's assets in PodcastOne. I bought it at 8, even though the stock was $1.73. Right? We're gonna get more done, and we're gonna get done quick.
All right, man. All right. Enjoy your dinner with your father, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a great weekend, pal.
You too, man. Thank you for tuning in to another CEO interview here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Today we had Rob Ellin from LiveOne. I hope you enjoyed today's interview, and if you did, do us a favor, give us a like. How about giving us a share? And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button. All of those things are extremely important to us here at Alpha Wolf Capital, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Until next time, stay safe. Alpha Wolf Capital wishes you the very best of success.